Which gender is more likely to seize intimacy in a relationship?
Female. Yeah.
Women.
The woman, obviously.
In a relationship.
Female.
I would say women.
Okay, why is that then?
I just would say that. I probably because my friends, when their relationship ended, it was mostly because the guy was too clingy. That's why I would automatically think that.
Have you ever heard the term dead bedroom before?
No. Dead bedroom?
Yeah.
No.
No. What's that?
A dead bedroom is a relationship or marriage where there is minimal or no sexual intimacy. Have you heard of this phenomenon?
I have heard about it, but not necessarily that term.
You believe people are entitled to expect sexual intimacy as part of their relationship?
Sure.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yes.
Most people think that.
No.
No, because relationships shouldn't evolve only around sex. I mean, you can express it in different ways, so I don't think people should expect it. No.
I think so. I feel like it's one of the things that makes it different from friendship.
Would you say it's quite important?
Probably. Maybe not for everyone, but I think that's quite a normal thing to think in a relationship.
If one partner refuses to be intimate while also refusing to acknowledge there's a problem, is that cruel?
It's very cruel. It is. Yes, it's bad. You're supposed to be able to explain to your partner why you don't it.
Yeah, it's possible.
I don't think so.
Not at all. It isn't.
Cruel?
Yeah.
It's something, but I don't know if you can define it as cruel because every relationship is different and it just depends on the situation. But I wouldn't say cruel.
What would you say then?
There's definitely a misunderstanding that they have to talk about, and maybe it could be like one of them, something bad happened to them and they're scared, but it doesn't necessarily have to be cruel.
I feel like the person would probably have a reason for the decision, do you get? So maybe it's some medical issue, maybe it's some emotional thing. I don't know, it depends. It could be anything, so I don't know.
I think that depends if there is actually a problem. Like, let's say there's two people in a relationship and one person wants to be sexual and the other person doesn't. I think it's very hard for them to then be in a relationship because in a relationship you should respect other people's wishes. It's very hard if one person does not want to be sexual and the other person doesn't. I don't think that could work really.
Yeah, if they don't acknowledge it, then I think it can be quite cruel if the other person maybe has some sort of expectation or they misunderstand that was part of their relationship, and then if it's not that it's wrong to not feel like you want to be intimate with someone, but yeah, if you don't acknowledge it, then that could be cruel, maybe.
In a long-term relationship, what is a realistic frequency of lovemaking, do you think?
In a long-term relationship?
Yeah.
I've never been in a relationship. I would have no idea. I'm usually never in a long-term relationship.
Twice. I don't know. It depends.
I have no idea. Each time, not one time per week.
I don't know, maybe twice a week or 3 times. That's maybe quite a lot, but yeah, something like that.
It just depends on how frequent you guys see and your libido.
Depends on how
close they are.
proximity. Could be every day.
Because it could be a long-term relationship and they don't see every time. So it just depends on how close they are.
Yeah, it depends on people. Some people will be cool with one per month and one per day. I don't know.
What are some common reasons why someone might stop being intimate with their partner, do you think?
Maybe because they're interested in someone else.
Maybe they don't feel it anymore, or they are no longer interested.
Maybe after time, or if I lose interest in sex, maybe.
Maybe there's no emotional attachment. Maybe there's some medical conditions attached that we don't know.
Depends. Some people are scared, maybe first time. Well, and I've heard of cases, some people don't just, they have that phobia, yes, for sex.
Probably partner is not good enough or
Sometimes it
unattractive.
can be religion based.
Yeah, really be religion based.
Religion based, yeah.
Like tired from work, or they've grown apart in their relationship and they haven't like worked at it, because it can be like take a bit of effort to continue that. But yeah, I'd probably say like stress and tiredness.
The affectionate is just not there anymore, because if you really truly are into someone, you have to feel attracted to that person, so you feel to like express it in a way sexually. It doesn't always have to be, but it's a form of expressing it. And I guess if you don't feel that kind of connection with that person anymore, it will stop you being affectionate to them.
What advice would you give to someone who found themselves in a dead bedroom?
Definitely acknowledge if you think there's a problem, or if you feel like there's some sort of miscommunication going on.
It depends on the case, but I prefer to see a psychologist.
If you think you can't deal with it, just leave the relationship.
But if you can't deal with it, just stay.
I would say move on, or try to talk about it, fix it. But if you don't see it going anywhere, I would just say move on and be happy somewhere else.
I don't know, I feel like it's not really about sex, Like some people actually have people differ, you understand? It just depends on what you want. So
If you think there's a standard that you should be achieving or anything like that, just discuss with your partner and hopefully come to a resolution together.
Talking with people, it's not useful to just say oh yeah, we not have sex anymore. We need to talk about it. Between couples, it's important to talk.
It's definitely not your fault kind of thing. Just maybe you could still try to spice things up, try something else. But I mean, if it really is just not there anymore, you might consider why it's not there anymore and consider if it's still worth being in that relationship if you're really bothered about it. And otherwise, just definitely be able to talk about it, because in relationships you should be able to talk about anything, including this.
Okay.
What should you do if your girlfriend has more sexual experience than you? What impact will the genetic engineering of children have on the female preferences for men? And how should you date while you're still living with your parents? All of these topics and many more are covered in exclusive videos available on my Patreon page. This includes the topic of my latest video, a deep dive into sex toys. In this video, I discuss the impact that pornography has on our sexuality and the different perspectives of whether or not adult films are helping us discover new sexual preferences or creating them. I talk about the choice that you have with regards to your sexuality as to whether or not to explore endless novelty or work on appreciating what you have. I talk about the various solutions that are available to you if your girlfriend is bored in bed and whether or not toys are a legitimate choice. And lastly, the rules that you should have in place in your relationship if your girlfriend is ever interested in introducing toys as part of your sex life. For anybody out there who's nervous about their partner's choice to use toys as part of their sexual repertoire, I highly recommend you check out this video.